Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the SAP Center in San Jose, California, and the show just ended. And Monday Night Raw tonight, I thought it was a very good show. It was produced very good, and overall I found it very enjoyable. But tonight on Monday Night Raw, we had the United States Championship on the line. Bobby Lashley defended the title against Seth Rollins. We had Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. We had the Brawling Brutes. We had Ridge Holland and Butch end up taking on the Street Profits. Then we had Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Rey Mysterio and Matt Riddle. And in the main event, it was Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. But overall, Monday Night Raw, good show tonight. Really enjoyed it. But before I get into the review, news broke out early this morning concerning Survivor Series. And Triple H announced that WARGAMES is going to be at Survivor Series. Yes, the WARGAMES match, when we saw it at NXT TakeOver, Triple H has now brought it to Survivor Series, and there's going to be both men and women's WarGame matches at Survivor Series. And this is coming from WWE.com, and here is the article here. Okay, so here is the article here, courtesy of WWE.com. So it says, WarGames matches to headline Survivor Series for the first time in WWE history. And we all got to thank Triple H for bringing the WarGames concept to Survivor Series. And I love the logo here. It's very cool. Survivor Series WarGames. Pretty cool logo. And it says right here, WWE today announced that Survivor Series will feature both men's and women's WarGames matches. The premium live event branded WWE Survivor Series WarGames will take place on Saturday, November 26th from the TD Garden in Boston. So all of you out there that bought tickets to Survivor Series, you're going to have one hell of a fun time there, experiencing WarGames. So it says right here, the news was first reported by David Shoemaker of The Ringer, and this marks the first time in history that WarGames matches will take place on a WWE branded event. So if you all don't know how the WarGames concept is, if you haven't watched NXT TakeOver WarGames, when that WarGames concept was in NXT, it's basically superstars stepping inside a massive steel cage, and it has two rings. The cage is surrounded by those two rings, and the match begins with one member from each team facing off, and before that, additional competitors are added every few minutes thereafter. And basically, once all the superstars have entered the WarGames cage, a victory to win the match can be attended via pinfall or submission. So that's basically how the concept of WarGames is. If you haven't seen any of the WarGames matches from NXT TakeOver. So, but WarGames, it's awesome. Love the concept to it. And it's awesome having two rings in there, and the cage surrounds the two rings. So, and they're very entertaining. Go watch the WarGames matches from NXT TakeOver. They done WarGames every year before Survivor Series. NXT TakeOver. So, but it's going to be awesome, and I'm glad that Triple H end up bringing the WarGames concept for Survivor Series, because let's be honest, the Raw versus SmackDown 5-on-5 has become very outdated. This is fresh right here, and I love it. So I can't wait to see what Triple H does, with War Games on the main roster. All right, great. Tell it's probably going to be for the woman, Damage Control, Bayley and Dakota Kai and Io Sky. They're possibly going to be in War Games. For the men's, I could see the Bloodline. Definitely the Bloodline's going to be in the War Games match. You can have, Kevin Owens, and then once it's time for Sami Zayn to turn babyface, have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn inside War Games with the Usos and, Roman Reigns in there. So that's pretty much how I see what WWE is going to do for War Games. I think Damage Control is going to be in the women's War Games, and for sure the Bloodline is going to be in the men's War Games match. So, but really looking forward to this. So, you all in Boston who are going to Survivor Series, you all are in for a treat. But that was the article. Really awesome news. Really happy that War Games is going to be at Survivor Series this year. Thank you, Triple H, for bringing that to Survivor Series, because Survivor Series needed this change. From us seeing every single year, it gets tiring. The 5-on-5 Raw versus SmackDown. It's outdated. And I'm really glad that this fresh new change is coming to Survivor Series with the War Games concept. But that was news that broke out today. So let's jump right into the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw opened up tonight with the United States Championship on the line. Bobby Lashley defended the title against Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins made his way out. Crowd was singing away to his theme song. And then Bobby Lashley, the almighty Bobby Lashley, ended up coming out. And this was a very good match here. This was very entertaining. We had Rollins smiling at Lashley as he circled the ring. Both guys ended up locking up. Lashley pushed Rollins down. Rollins started smirking away at Lashley as he got to his feet. Rollins ended up going around Lashley, ended up applying a side headlock. Rollins held on to that side headlock on Lashley for a little bit. Lashley ended up throwing Rollins off. And the crowd was still singing away to Rollins' theme song. So Rollins ended up kicking Lashley in his midsection. He ended up applying another side headlock, but Lashley ended up slamming Rollins down. Rollins got in Lashley's face, started talking trash to him. Rollins ended up getting out of the ring, and Lashley followed him out. Rollins got back into the ring, ended up knocking Lashley down. Rollins ended up going for a suicide dive. Lashley caught him. Lashley ended up going to drive Rollins into the ring post, and Rollins ended up sliding him off. He ended up sending Lashley into the ring post. So Rollins ended up bringing Lashley back into the ring, and he ended up going for a springboard knee, but Lashley ended up sidestepping Rollins. Lashley ended up going for the hurt lock. Rollins ended up driving Lashley into the turnbuckles, and then he delivered a super kick to Lashley. And this spot here in the match, we had Rollins end up going for the stomp, and as soon as he hit the stomp, Lashley didn't go down, and Rollins was shocked by that. We never seen Rollins do the stomp and somebody doesn't go down. So Lashley powered up and he clotheslined Rollins out of the ring. Lashley ended up going to the outside, and he ended up turning Rollins inside out with a shoulder tackle, and Rollins took a rough bump there from Lashley as Lashley ended up hitting him with the shoulder tackle. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Rollins ended up applying a bicep slicer. Lashley ended up fighting up. Rollins ended up hitting him with the sling blade, and Rollins ended up going for the cover. Lashley kicked out too. So Rollins ended up applying an armbar. Lashley ended up fighting out of that. Lashley ended up scooping Rollins up. Rollins ended up sliding off onto the apron, and he ended up snapping him off the top rope. He ended up snapping Lashley off the top rope. Rollins then ended up pinning a springboard knee to the side of Lashley's head, and he ended up going for the cover. Lashley kicked out too. There was an awesome spot later on in the match where he had Lashley end up going for a spear to Rollins, and Rollins countered the spear from Lashley, and he hit the pedigree to him. So Rollins ended up going for the cover, and Lashley kicked out of that. That was a good spot there, with Rollins countering Lashley's spear. So Lashley ended up avoiding the Phoenix Splash. Rollins ended up landing on his feet. He attempted another stomp, but Lashley ended up avoiding that. And Lashley applied the Hurt Lock. Rollins ended up fighting out of the Hurt Lock. He ended up pushing off the ropes, and he ended up going for a cover on Lashley. Lashley ended up kicking out, but Lashley kept the Hurt Lock applied. And the referee was knocked down, during the other pin. So the referee didn't see Rollins end up low blowing Lashley. So Rollins was sent up to hit the stomp on Lashley. And then Matt Riddle ended up running down to the ring. Matt Riddle didn't get into the ring, so Rollins ended up staring at Riddle. He was waiting for Riddle to get in the ring. And Rollins ended up turning around. Lashley ended up delivering the spear to Rollins. Lashley ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Bobby Lashley ended up winning the match, retaining the United States Championship. So post-match, Bobby Lashley ended up celebrating in the ring with the title. Rollins looked on at Riddle, and Riddle was just celebrating at ringside. So pretty much that was basically that. Overall, this was a very good, entertaining match from Rollins and Lashley here. Rollins going for that stomp and Lashley not going down. That was an awesome spot. And then Lashley going for the spear, Rollins countering that into a pedigree. Those are the two best spots here in the match. It was just awesome. So then we had a limousine end up pulling into the garage of the SAP Center. So out stepped Bayley and Dakota Kai and Io Sky, Damage Control. And it was announced that they were going to have a championship celebration after Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial. So that's what we got. Damage Control ended up coming out. They made their way down to the ring in a golf cart that was driven by Bayley. And of course, we're getting this celebration because last week, Dakota Kai and Io Sky end up winning the Women's Tag Team Championship from Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez. So, even though these titles are meaningless, Dakota Kai and Io Sky could, have a decent reign as Women's Tag Team Champions. I'm glad that they got them off of Aaliyah and Raquel. So, as they made their way out, we had pyro end up going off. The ring was shown decorated with a black carpet and balloons in there. We had streamers getting released in the air. So it was a big celebration for Damage Control, for Io Sky and Dakota Kai. So the crowd ended up booing loudly for them. Of course, this is in Bayley's hometown of San Jose. So Bayley ended up saying, "Ding dong, San Jose," and the crowd ended up giving her a good ovation because, of course, like I said, it's in her hometown. So Bayley ended up calling herself a Bay Area hero. So Bayley ended up saying that she wanted to do a homecoming celebration with the new Women's Tag Team Champions, Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Bayley then ended up telling the crowd to show respect to real champions, since the Sharks can't get it done. In reference to, the Sharks. So Io Sky got on the mic. Sky ended up saying that they are the champions now. And she was speaking in Japanese. Bayley ended up saying that Io Sky doesn't have to thank her. Bayley ended up thanking Io Sky and Dakota Kai for buying into her vision. Dakota Kai got on the mic and she ended up saying that they need each other to remake this vision. And she ended up saying that the people they don't need are Asuka and Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. She ended up saying that they were once the face of the division, but now they're in control of nothing. Dakota Kai ended up saying that Asuka was once a fearless warrior, and that Alexa Bliss walks around like she got a lobotomy in therapy. And for 300 days, Bianca Belair has phoned it in because she forgot what it's like to be pinned until Bayley pinned her at Clash at the Castle. She ended up saying that now there's nothing left for these women to do except to pack it up and go home. So then we had Bianca Belair end up coming out with Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Bianca ended up saying that they were going to let them have their celebration until they started running their mouths. So Bianca was like, now they're going to teach them some respect. Bayley ended up telling Bianca this is why the division spiraled out of control, and that Bianca is too impulsive. So she ended up saying that she needs to be more like her, that Bianca needs to be more like, Bayley and see the big picture. So Bayley ended up telling Bianca that she will only fight her when she decides she wants the World Women's Championship. Bayley then went on to say that Bianca has had enough accessories and doesn't need Asuka and Alexa Bliss. So Alexa Bliss ended up saying to Bayley, if she keeps talking, they'll become accessories to what she'll do to her. So Bayley ended up saying that she thought Lily was the only one who bites. And yeah, Alexa Bliss is still carrying Lily out there. I don't know why. And the only reason why Alexa Bliss is still carrying Lily is because Lily is a top seller on WWE Shop. Why? Lily looks like a freaking Smucker's Uncrustable. So Bayley ended up saying that Alexa Bliss used to be a biter, but now she's got nothing. Alexa Bliss ended up saying that she loved to torment Bayley again. So she ended up suggesting that her and Bayley have a match later on in the night, which of course was the main event. So we had Io Sky and Dakota Kai end up backing up. Bayley ended up going for a cheap shot, and Alexa Bliss ended up knocking Bayley back out of the ring. So pretty much that was basically that. That was how this segment ended. But this was cringe. This was very, very cringe. So we had another Alexa Bliss and Bayley match. How many times have we seen them go at it during the Vince McMahon old administration? With one of the worst Monday Night Raw segments in, Alexa Bliss doing Bayley, This Is Your Life, which is a segment we all want to fucking forget. One of the worst fucking segments in WWE history. That Bayley, This Is Your Life, that Alexa Bliss did when Bayley was a babyface and Alexa Bliss was the heel. God, we all don't want to remember that segment. And so we saw Austin Theory. Austin Theory was warming up backstage. He was going to face Kevin Owens. Now, I don't know if you all caught this, but behind Austin Theory was a QR code. And WWE sneaked this in, and it's all a hint of this White Rabbit thing, because there was this clue regarding the mysterious White Rabbit. There was speculation during SmackDown on Friday for people who were in attendance there, and this was during a commercial break. And there was a version of the song White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane playing from the speakers. And there was speculation that, this could be a reference to Bray Wyatt, or maybe it could be Karrion Kross. But I did not scan this QR code, but I've heard people that did. And there was a video titled Feed You're Here. And it showed a white rabbit icon. It was playing a game of Hangman. You guess the letter, and if it's not there, like you draw, like a head or, arms of the person. And the question, it had the question, who killed the world? And the answer was, you did. And so the video ended with a September 23rd date, and the time 9:23 flashed on the screen. And supposedly this will all be answered this Friday on SmackDown. But who do I think this possibly could be? It could possibly be Bray Wyatt. I think it's going to be Bray Wyatt because, people speculate, it could be Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is already on SmackDown. But if I had to take a guess in my prediction, this is Bray Wyatt. And I've read news that, Bray Wyatt wants higher money for him to come back. But, this could be speculation that, it could be Bray Wyatt. That news about, him, wanting more money to return, it could be false. Who knows? But that's my prediction. This White Rabbit is possibly Bray Wyatt. And I hope it is. And then we had Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens. And this was a good match here. Kevin Owens ended up coming out first, and then Austin Theory. And as Kevin Owens ended up making his way down, Austin Theory ended up blindsiding Owens, and Theory ended up knocking Owens off the apron. Theory ended up going to the outside. He ended up driving Kevin Owens into the LED barricade. Theory got into the ring, started taunting Kevin Owens. Owens was shown stumbling to his feet. He got into the ring. The referee checked on Owens. Owens ended up telling the ref to ring the bell. So the ref rang the bell. Kevin Owens ended up taking Austin Theory down, started punching away at him. Owens ended up knocking Theory into the corner and delivered a chop to Theory's chest. Theory turned Owens around, started stomping him down in the corner. So Theory ended up digging his knee into Kevin Owens' face. The referee had to back him up. Theory ended up getting Kevin Owens to his feet, and he started punching away at Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens ended up reversing a whip to Austin Theory, and he ended up hitting a back elbow, which he followed up by a senton splash to Austin Theory. Kevin Owens ended up going for the cannonball, and Austin Theory ended up getting out of the ring. Kevin Owens ended up following Austin Theory out of the ring, so Theory ended up driving Kevin Owens into the apron. And we had Theory end up smashing Kevin Owens' face off the commentary table. Kevin Owens then delivered a neckbreaker to Austin Theory off the apron. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Kevin Owens ended up sending Austin Theory's head into the top turnbuckle. Owens was looking to go for the cannonball, but Theory rolled out of the way. Theory then locked in the dreaded chin lock, of course, to slow down the match. Kevin Owens ended up escaping out of the chin lock, and he delivered an atomic drop. Owens ended up following up with a lariat to Theory. He went for the cover, and Theory ended up kicking out. So Kevin Owens then delivered a super kick to Austin Theory. He ascended to the top rope. He ended up hitting a cannonball splash on Theory. He ended up going for the cover. Theory ended up kicking out. So at this point, we had Owens and Theory. They were on the top rope. They were exchanging right hands. Kevin Owens ended up knocking Theory down to the mat. Theory ended up getting back up, and Owens started delivering some headbutts. He slapped Theory down to the mat. Kevin Owens flew off the top rope, and Theory ended up rolling out of the way. Theory then ended up sending Kevin Owens down to the mat. He ended up going for the cover, and Owens ended up kicking out. So he ended up trying to pin Kevin Owens 2 more times, but Kevin Owens ended up kicking out of both pins. So Theory eyed his Money in the Bank briefcase in the corner of the ring. Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, ended up appearing, and he grabbed the briefcase. Gargano was taunting Theory, and Kevin Owens then hit a super kick to Theory, and then delivered the cannonball. And then Kevin Owens went for the pop-up powerbomb to Austin Theory. He ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Kevin Owens ended up winning the match. Post-match, Johnny Gargano got into the ring with the Money in the Bank briefcase. He held the briefcase over Theory. Gargano then dropped the briefcase on Theory's groin. So Theory was in pain at that. So Gargano was just taunting Austin Theory. So pretty much that was basically that. But overall, very good match from Kevin Owens and Austin Theory here. You know, the wrestling from both of these guys were very good. So then we saw Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle was walking backstage. Kevin Patrick ended up stopping Matt Riddle. Kevin Patrick ended up asking Riddle about him costing Seth Rollins the United States Championship earlier in the night. Riddle ended up saying to Kevin Patrick that he's going to keep attacking Rollins until he gets his rematch. So Matt Riddle ended up saying that he wants to help Ray get that sweet revenge on the Judgment Day. So pretty much that was basically that. You know, of course we're going to get the rematch with Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. So, which I'll get to explain that later on. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from commercial, we had a video package recapping what happened on SmackDown on Friday with Logan Paul calling out Roman Reigns, and then he wants to face, you know, Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. They play clips from the press conference from Saturday, and we're getting this shit of a match: Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at Crown Jewel next month. Awful. Absolutely awful. This is something that Vince McMahon booked. This feels like it. But you have other guys lined up that could face Roman Reigns. But yet, you go with Logan Paul. You could add Seth Rollins, you could add Braun Strowman, you could add AJ Styles. And yet, Logan Paul. They go with Logan fucking Paul. This is going to be a squash match at Crown Jewel. 5 minutes. This match will go. 5 minutes. My prediction. And if it goes longer, then it's already a fucking fail. I hope that match at Crown Jewel, like I said, lasts 5 minutes. Roman is going to destroy Logan Paul. I can't believe they're doing this match. Maybe the Saudi Prince wanted Logan Paul there, and for him to have a match with Roman Reigns there. Probably the Saudi Prince told WWE, "Oh, we want Logan Paul to appear at Crown Jewel." They think that Logan Paul's a moneymaker. It's not a moneymaker. And then we had Ridge Holland and Butch end up making their way out to the ring. Of course, Ridge Holland and Butch, they are the number one contenders to face the Usos this Friday on SmackDown for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. So Butch got on the mic. He ended up saying, "Monday Night Raw, it's fight night." Ridge Holland got on the mic, ended up saying that we'll get used to seeing them when they become the new undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. They're not winning the titles on Friday. So we had the Street Profits end up coming out. Angelo Dawkins end up congratulating the Brawling Brutes, Ridge Holland and Butch, on their win on Friday. So Montez Ford introduced them to the Brawling Brutes, him and Angelo Dawkins. Montez Ford ended up saying that they haven't beat them yet. Butch then started throwing things at the Profits. So Ridge Holland ended up saying, "Oh, we'll fight you guys now." So the Street Profits end up agreeing to have the match. So as Monday Night Raw came back from commercial, we had the Brawling Brutes versus the Street Profits. Tag team match. This was, good match, another good match here. So it started off with Angelo Dawkins and Ridge Holland. So Ridge Holland ended up applying a hold, started ripping at Angelo Dawkins' face. Dawkins ended up whipping Holland off. Holland ended up delivering a shoulder tackle to Dawkins. Ridge Holland ended up sending Dawkins into the corner. Dawkins ended up slingshot over Ridge Holland. So you had Ford end up slapping Butch. And it fired up, Butch there. Ford ended up delivering a drop kick and tagged in Dawkins. Butch started stomping away on Dawkins' ankle. And then Butch targeted Dawkins' wrist. Ridge Holland tagged in. He tried to get Angelo Dawkins up for a suplex. Dawkins escaped out of that and tagged in Montez Ford. Montez Ford delivered a crossbody off the top to Ridge Holland. He started hitting some kicks to him. Butch then tagged back in. He delivered double knees to Montez Ford. Butch then hit a drop kick. He tagged Ridge Holland back into the ring. Ridge Holland delivered a vertical suplex to Montez Ford, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Ford ended up kicking out. Butch tagged back into the ring, and both Butch and Ridge Holland delivered the 10 beats of the Botterin to Montez Ford, just like their buddy Sheamus. So after they were done with that, they knocked Montez Ford to the outside. And as Monday Night Raw came back from commercial, Ridge Holland delivered a headbutt to Montez Ford. Butch tagged back in. He delivered some stomps to Montez Ford. So Montez Ford managed to hit the DDT. It allowed him to make the tag to Dawkins. Ridge Holland also tagged in, so it was Ridge Holland and Dawkins going at it. Dawkins ended up taking Holland down with a flying back elbow. He delivered a splash and a kick to Ridge Holland. So at the end of the match, we had Ridge Holland end up attacking Dawkins. He held him up for Butch to kick Dawkins, and then Holland ended up slamming Dawkins. Butch ended up going for the cover, and there you go. The Brawling Brutes ended up winning the match. But overall, this was a very good, entertaining match from the Brawling Brutes and also the Street Profits. And then we saw Rey Mysterio backstage. Rey Mysterio was with Sarah Schreiber. Rey Mysterio ended up telling Sarah Schreiber that he cannot believe what his son Dominic has done. So he ended up saying that Edge may be sidelined for now, but he has hope that Dominic can find his way back to their family. Rey Mysterio ended up saying that everything he's ever done in his life has been to provide for him and his family. So now Riddle ended up coming up to Rey, and Riddle ended up saying to Rey that he'll help him take care of those greasy slime balls in the Judgment Day. So pretty much that was basically that. And then we saw Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano was backstage and he came across the Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. Chad Gable ended up telling Johnny Gargano that he made the biggest mistake of his career by interfering in Austin Theory's match. He kept saying that if he has a problem with him, then he has a problem with the Alpha Academy. Kevin Owens ended up walking in. Kevin Owens ended up saying to Chad Gable that if they have a problem with Johnny Gargano, then they have a problem with him. So Chad Gable ended up throwing out the challenge to face them in a tag team match next week. So Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano ended up accepting the match. So Gargano and Owens then end up shushing the Alpha Academy in their faces. So pretty much that was basically that. So we're getting that match next week. Tag team match, Johnny Gargano teaming up with Kevin Owens to take on the Alpha Academy. It should be a pretty good match there. And then we saw the Judgment Day. We have Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. So they made their way out. Rhea Ripley got on the mic. She kept saying that they took out everyone that was in front of them last week and proved that they run Monday Night Raw. She kept saying with Dominic by their side, no one can stop them, especially now that Dominic is all man. Finn Balor got on the mic. He ended up saying that Dominic is a brave man, and that it takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but even more, to stand up to your father. Damian Priest ended up shaking hands with Dominic, and he ended up saying that he loves Dominic. Damian Priest ended up saying that this is a man who no longer walks in a shadow. This man is willing to fight his own battles. He ended up saying that Dominic proved that last week when he faced Edge. So Damian Priest was like, if you need a reminder of how this went down, Dominic is standing right here, and Edge isn't standing anywhere. Damian Priest ended up saying that Edge is sitting somewhere all beat up, sad, and injured. So Rhea Ripley got on the mic. She ended up saying that Poppy is very proud of Dom. So Dominic ended up thanking Rhea Ripley. The crowd ended up booing loudly for Dominic. That was a massive amount of boos that Dominic got. I could tell by the fans booing Dominic like that, that was go away heat boos from the crowd. You know, they don't want to see Dominic out there. So Balor ended up shouting at the crowd. Rhea Ripley ended up telling Dominic to ignore the crowd. So Priest ended up telling the crowd to sit down, shut up, and show some respect. So Dominic ended up going to talk, and the crowd just drowned Dominic with boos. They were so loud that you couldn't even hear Dominic talk on the mic. So Dominic ended up trying to continue with what he had to say, and he smirked when the crowd was just still booing at him. So Dominic ended up saying that he loves standing here with his real family, the Judgment Day. So Balor then suggested, let's take a photo. Let's take a selfie. Why couldn't you just call out Austin Theory to come in? You know, we all know that Austin Theory loves taking selfies. So Balor should have called out Austin Theory, and, you know, they all could have gotten a selfie. You know, knowing how much, like I said, Austin Theory loves taking selfies of himself. So we had the Judgment Day. They were posing for photos. Balor ended up saying, we're having a great time in the Bay Area. So Matt Riddle ended up cutting Finn Balor off. So Matt Riddle made his way out. He rode a scooter to the stage. And Rey Mysterio ended up coming out. So we had the match, the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Matt Riddle and Rey Mysterio. Tag team match. You know, this was a decent match. Finn Balor started off against Matt Riddle. Finn Balor quickly ended up getting Riddle into the corner, started attacking him. Damian Priest tagged in. He ended up delivering a right hand to Matt Riddle. Priest ended up throwing Riddle into the corner, started punching away at him. Balor ended up tagging back in. He ended up punching Riddle, and Balor ended up chopping Riddle's chest before he ended up sending Matt Riddle into the opposite corner. So Riddle ended up kicking Balor down. Riddle ended up hitting Balor with some gut-wrench suplexes. So Riddle tagged in Ray. Riddle and Mysterio ended up hitting Balor with some leg drops. And Ray ended up going for the cover. Balor ended up kicking out too. So we had Balor end up hitting a head scissors takedown to Rey Mysterio. Damian Priest ended up tagging in. And we had Rey Mysterio end up going at it with Damian Priest. Priest ended up catching Mysterio, but Mysterio ended up getting out. He ended up hitting the ropes. Priest delivered a clothesline to Ray, knocking him down. So we had, later on, Balor hit the Three Amigos on Ray, and the crowd booed loudly at that. Mysterio counted the third suplex and hit a suplex of his own to Balor. Mysterio then ended up leveling Balor with an enziguri, and Riddle ended up coming in, started striking away at Balor. Riddle ended up hitting a ripcord knee to Balor. Priest ended up running in, and Riddle ended up hitting a snap kick to Damian Priest. So we had Riddle going back and forth with some forearms to Balor and Priest in opposite corners. We had later on in the match where Rey Mysterio ended up knocking Balor into the ropes, ended up hitting the 619, and Rhea Ripley ended up immediately again on the apron to distract the referee. Seth Rollins came down and attacked Riddle. Rollins ended up grabbing a chair. Rey Mysterio ended up pulling it away from Rollins, and Rey started chasing Rollins away. Rollins ended up going over the barricade into the crowd. So Dominic then confronted Rey, and Dominic dared Rey to hit him with the chair, to which Dominic didn't even look aggressive out there. He was just smiling like this, like, hit me, Dad. Oh, he looked like an idiot like that, down on his knees. He's supposed to look aggressive there, begging his dad to hit him with the chair. But he's just like, just with a smirk on his face, like he wants to smile. So we had Rey end up throwing the chair aside. He got into the ring. Balor immediately hit the sling blade to Rey. Damian Priest tagged in. He delivered a choke slam to Rey. Balor then tagged in. He ended up going up to the top rope. Coup de grace on Rey. Ended up going for the cover. And there you go. The Judgment Day, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest ended up winning the match. Overall, very decent tag team match this was. And then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle backstage. And they were brawling. We had referees and officials end up trying to break up Rollins and Riddle. So Riddle then challenged Rollins to a fight pit match at Extreme Rules. So Rollins ended up accepting the match. Now, if you don't know what a fight pit match is, this is going to be the third fight pit match. Both fight pit matches took place on NXT. The first fight pit match was Tommaso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher. And what a fight pit match is, it is set inside a steel cage. And there's no ring ropes. We have the referees on top of the cage, just watching things go down. So the first ever fight pit match was against Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher on NXT. And then Matt Riddle was in the second fight pit match where he ended up taking on Timothy Thatcher later on. And that was held on NXT. So this is going to be the third fight pit match being taken place. But it's going to be on the main roster. So 2 fight pit matches happen on NXT. This is going to be the first one on the main roster on a premium live event. But both of the fight pit matches in NXT, with Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. And Timothy Thatcher versus Matt Riddle. They were pretty good. They were pretty good matches. And then we had Miz TV with Dexter Lumis. That was the Miz's guest. But we saw Miz and Tommaso Ciampa in the ring. Miz ended up getting on the mic. He ended up saying that he saw the security footage from his home last week. To which, Dexter Lumis was inside the Miz's home. So the Miz was like, you do not step into his house uninvited. And the Miz ended up saying that he's tired of looking over his shoulder. He ended up saying that his daughter had a Minions-themed birthday. Miz ended up saying that he thought one of the Minions was Dexter Lumis, and he punched it, traumatizing partygoers. So the Miz wanted to know what Dexter Lumis' problem is. So he ended up calling Dexter Lumis to get into the ring. So we saw a knife. A knife popped up from under the canvas. And the knife was cutting a hole in the canvas. So Dexter Lumis popped up from that hole. And Dexter Lumis ended up scaring the Miz. And Miz and Dexter Lumis, they stalled a bit. Dexter Lumis ended up trying to pull Miz under the ring. Ciampa ended up saving the Miz. Ciampa ended up hitting Dexter Lumis with the mic. Dexter Lumis ended up dropping below the ring. And I said in one of my reviews, maybe Tommaso Ciampa is helping Dexter Lumis, and kidnapping the Miz and all. But that's not the case after what we saw, here tonight. Seeing Tommaso Ciampa hit that mic at Dexter Lumis. So, Ciampa is, not helping, Dexter Lumis, just take out the Miz. But Dexter Lumis then popped back up, and the Miz and Ciampa end up getting out of the ring, and that was basically that. But where are they taking this storyline here? This is being dragged out, and the more I see it, the less and less I am interested in this. I mean, where's the explanation as to where Dexter Lumis kidnapped the Miz and where he bought him? Nothing is explained. We got no explanation as to why Dexter Lumis kidnapped the Miz on Monday Night Raw. There's no explanation. We get the Miz saying, I don't want to talk about it. We need an explanation somehow. The more I'm not getting explanation in this whole thing as to why Dexter Lumis kidnapped the Miz, the less and less I am, impressed with this storyline here. And then they announced matches that we're going to see next week on Raw. So it's going to be Matt Riddle versus Damian Priest. And of course, Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano versus the Alpha Academy. So those are the two matches they announced for Monday Night Raw next week. And then we saw the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day was interviewed backstage. Dominic ended up pretending to be nervous. And he ended up saying that, I want to check on my father. And then he started laughing. Dominic ended up saying that he has a new mommy now. Damian Priest ended up saying that Matt Riddle will get more of an ass kicking next week. So Finn Balor ended up walking over to AJ Styles. We haven't seen Styles in a few weeks. He's been off TV. Balor ended up asking why Styles has been ducking him. Styles ended up telling Balor that he stopped talking to him when he joined the Judgment Day, when Balor joined the Judgment Day. So Balor ended up saying that he's never done anything to Styles, and that they were teaming up before all this happened. Styles ended up saying that he wants no part of the Judgment Day. So Balor ended up saying that it sounds like Styles wants a fight. So Balor embraced Styles, ended up telling Styles that their offer stands. So pretty much that was basically that. So Balor wanted AJ Styles to join the Judgment Day. So that was that. Main event, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. And I know why they did this, because, this is in Bayley's hometown of San Jose. And why not have the hometown girl in the main event of Monday Night Raw? But before the match, we saw a video package that showcased the career of Alexa Bliss. I don't know why we had to get this on the show. But this was a very mediocre match here. Alexa Bliss ended up jumping on Bayley's back. Bayley fought Bliss off, and Alexa Bliss delivered a forearm to Bayley, started targeting Bayley's arm. Bayley then ended up sending Alexa Bliss into the top turnbuckle, and then delivered a forearm to Alexa Bliss's head. Bayley then delivered an arm drag to Alexa Bliss. She ended up going for the cover, and Alexa Bliss ended up kicking out. And we had Io Sky and Dakota Kai also out there, and then also Bianca Belair and Asuka. So Bayley delivered a stomp to Alexa Bliss. She followed up with some knees to her. Bliss ended up hitting her Hurricanrana, followed by double knees to the back of Bayley's neck. Bayley then came back, delivered a kick to Alexa Bliss, ended up targeting Alexa Bliss's knee. Bayley then delivered a sliding lariat to Bliss. She ended up going for the cover. Bliss ended up kicking out. Bayley then ended up sending Alexa Bliss into the commentary table. She ended up sitting her on top of it. Alexa Bliss ended up firing her way out. She delivered a cannonball off of the commentary table, just injuring, her knee a little bit. So, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Bayley had Alexa Bliss in the sharpshooter. Bliss escaped out of that, and we had both Bayley and Alexa Bliss end up hitting a double clothesline to each other. Bayley then choked Alexa Bliss on the middle rope and up sent her into the corner. Alexa Bliss ended up fighting back with a kick to Bayley. Bliss ended up hitting Bayley with a knee, followed by a missile drop kick. We had Bayley delivered a kick to Alexa Bliss's midsection, and she hit the Bayley to belly. She ended up going for the cover, and Alexa Bliss ended up kicking out. So we had Bayley end up rolling up Alexa Bliss, and Bayley had her feet on the ropes. Bianca Belair knocked Bayley's feet off the ropes, and it led to Dakota Kai and Io Sky attacking Bianca. We had Asuka end up helping out. Asuka ended up taking it to Dakota Kai, and Asuka was going for a hip attack to Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai moved out of the way, and Asuka went hip first into the ring steps. Alexa Bliss then ended up hitting a DDT to Bayley in the ring. She ended up going up to the top rope. Dakota Kai distracted the referee, and Io Sky knocked Alexa Bliss down off the top rope. Bayley ended up hitting the rose plant on Alexa Bliss. She ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Bayley ended up winning the match. Post-match, Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky end up beating down on Alexa Bliss, and then they end up attacking Asuka. Bianca Belair end up running into the ring, and she ended up clotheslining Bayley down. Dakota Kai and Io Sky end up attacking Bianca, started double teaming on her. Bayley ended up attacking Bianca, and she ended up hitting Bianca with the rose plant. Bayley then grabbed the mic, and she ended up saying that she's in control now. Bayley ended up telling Bianca that she gets what she wants when she wants it. So Bayley ended up saying that she wants the Raw Women's Championship at Extreme Rules. So Damage Control stood tall in the ring, and that was how Monday Night Raw went off the air. Overall, this match was very mediocre. Bayley and Asuka Bayley and Asuka. Bayley and Alexa Bliss have no chemistry together, in my opinion. And Bayley facing Bianca Belair for the Royal Women's Championship at Extreme Rules. You can already tell that Bayley is going to win the title at Extreme Rules. I think she's going to defeat Bianca, and Bayley's going to be the new Royal Women's Champion. So all of Damage Control will be wearing the gold. So that's how the way I see that going down. But overall, Monday Night Raw, very good show tonight. Very entertaining. Anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And of course, no AEW Dynamite review and no AEW Rampage review on Friday. No Dynamite review on Wednesday or Rampage review on Friday because I will be at Grand Slam. So no Dynamite review on Wednesday, and I'll only just be reviewing SmackDown on Friday. I will be doing a vlog from Grand Slam, so that will be up. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.